Okay, so this time dito tayo sa medyo complicated na problem. Below are the financial statements of Cashew Polo Incorporated. So una, binigyan ka muna ng balance sheet. Ito yung mga data. Okay? Tama ba? Yan, balance naman, no? Total asset, ito. Sa liabilities and equity, ito. Okay, tas 2 taon. 2024, 2023. Okay? Yan. Tapos, meron ka ditong income statement. Ito yung mga data. Okay? Ang income after tax, 540,900. Okay? And other items na nandoon sa income statement. And additional information. Okay? Now, ang objective mo, paano yan, okay, ipepresent sa statement of cash flow. Okay, paano ka gagawa ng statement of cash flow? Using direct method, tsaka indirect method. So, yun yung objective natin. Okay? So, unahin natin yung direct method. So, anyway, pakita na natin yung solution. Yan. Unahin muna natin yung direct method. Okay, so ito yung answer niyan. Okay? Sa direct method, ito yung mga operating activities. So, meron kang cash received from customer, 2,780,000. Sir, paano nangyari yun? Okay, tingnan natin yung information. Okay? Okay, sabi dito, yan. Di ba pag cash receipts from customer, unang papasok sa isip mo, galing yan sa sales. Okay, so tingnan mo yung sales. Tapos, tingnan mo din yung additional information. Okay? Kasi yung cash receipts, malamang connected sa sales, connected sa AR. Di ba? Dito, additional information, 70% of sales are cash sales. Okay? While the rest are on credit. So, may impact yan. Tama ba? And also, this number 2, there are no write-offs or recoveries of the accounts receivable. Okay, may impact din yan in terms of cash collection from customer. Okay? So, tignan natin. So, sabi dito, cash received from customers, 2,780,000. So, paano nakuha yan? Ito yan. Okay? So, ang ginawa, 2,800,000, okay, times 0.7. Bakit times 0.7? Kasi 'di ba out of the total sales, yung 2,800,000, 70% non-cash sales. So, 70% of 2,800,000, pera na agad. Okay? Tama ba? Yung 30% nun, to be collected pa. Okay? So, dapat, kasama yun sa computation mo dito. Kaya meron tayong 2,800,000 times 0.7. Pera na yon. Okay? Cash receipt yan from cash customer. Okay? Pero still, di ba, syempre, cash received from customer. Okay? Next, meron tayong plus F6 dito. Saan galing yan? Ito yon. F6. Ito. Okay? So, meron tayong formula dito. So, merong T-account ng accounts receivable, if you will notice. Yan. So, ito yung plinas, no? Yung 820,000 kasi ito daw yung collection from credit customer. Kung kanina, collection from cash customer, ito naman collection from credit customer. So, total niyan, syempre, collection from customer. Kasi lahat naman sila customer eh. Ito lang, later on, nagbayad. Yun, kanina ay nasa baba. Okay? On the dot, nagbayad. Tama? So anyway, paano nakuha tong 820? So, balik tayo dun sa information, sa given. Di ba sa problem, meron kang AR. Dati, beginning, 180,000. Ang ending, 200,000. So, nilatag lang natin. Ang beginning, 180. Ang ending, 200,000. Okay? So, if you remember, yung mga items affecting the AR balance, di ba? Meron kang credit sales. Di ba? Yung sales on account. So, kailangan mo malaman yan kasi sa problem, 30% lang ang credit sales kasi 70% cash sales. So, kaya nakuha natin tong 840,000. 30% of 2,800,000 na sales. Okay? So, meron kang 840. Now, ito ang tinatanong. Wala namang write-off, di ba? Per problem. Ito ang tinatanong, paano nakuha yan? So, di ba? Sabi natin, squeeze method ang magiging approach natin dito. So, meron kang 200,000. Okay? Eh, di ba yung beginning balance ng AR tsaka yung credit sales, ang effect niyan sa AR, dagdag. Okay? Kung normal approach, yung normal na way ng pag-compute. Eh, since squeeze method tayo, again, pabaliktad. So, 200,000, dito tayo manggagaling. Bawasan mo ng 840,000 kasi normally plus yan eh. Eh, pabaliktad tayo, bawas. Bawasan mo din ang beginning. Okay? Kasi normally plus yan eh. So, meron kang 820,000. Okay? Palitan lang natin. Gawin nating positive balance yan, syempre. Okay? Yeah. Okay, that's how you get 820,000. So, ang point, 820,000, collection from credit customer, plus yung collection from, okay, cash customer, which is 70% of 2,800,000, meron kang total of 2,780,000. Okay, by the way, magkano ba yung cash sales? 28,123 times 70%, no? 1,960,000. Okay, plus 820. Tama, so tama. 2,780,000. Okay? Next. Ito, actually class, tatandaan mo lang yung ano yung mga item na normally part ng operating, investing, tsaka financing. Then after mo nang ma-familiarize yun, susunod mong alamin kung paano computein yung mga items under each, di ba, activities. Okay? Or under each activity. Okay? So, cash paid to supplier, of course, outflow yan, 1,348,000. Paano nakuha yan, sir? Okay, doon tayo sa taas. May formula yan. Okay? So, dito sa problem, so, meron inventories, di ba? Merong accounts payable. Okay? Sa problem, binigyan ka ng kung anong beginning saka ending. So, sa merchandise inventory, for example, ang beginning mo, 170. Okay, kasi yan yung last year, 2023, ending balance. So, ito yon, tama ba? Tapos, ang ending niya, 2024, 100,000. Ito yon. Okay? Next. Yan. Di ba sa inventories, okay, kaya may natitira kasi may nabenta. At yung nabenta na yon, tawag natin doon cost of goods sold. Okay? Cost ng inventory nabenta. Okay? Now, itong 1,428, saan mo nakuha yan, sir? Given. Ito yan, di ba? Yung sa income statement. Yan. 1,428,000. So, sa T-account ng inventory, alam nating bawas yan. Kaya nga, nandito siya sa credit side eh. Okay? Now, itong problema natin. Itong purchase. Okay? Ito, na-compute yan, squeeze method ulit. Di ba? So, paano yun? Itong 1,358,000 squeeze method yan as purchase. So, meron kang ending. Okay? Tama? Binawasan ng nabentang inventory. Okay? Yun yung normal approach. Pero since pabaliktad tayo, add natin yan. Okay? Yung ending na 100,000, kaya naging 100,000, dinagdagan ng beginning na 170,000. Eh, pabaliktad tayo, bawas yan. Kaya mo nakuha yung 1,358,000 as purchase. Okay? So, dito na tayo sa accounts payable. Magkano yung beginning balance niya? Saan yun? Ito, 160. Tama? Magkano yung ending? 170. So, latag mo lang dun sa T-account na accounts payable. 160 sa beginning, 170 sa ending. Okay? Eh, di ba, ano ba nagpapataas sa accounts payable? Pag may na-purchase ka. Tama? Pag na-purchase mo kasi yan, normally on account muna yan eh. So, dagdag accounts payable yon. Tama po ba? Tapos ano magpapabawas sa accounts payable? Siyempre, pag binayaran mo. Okay? So, itong purchases na nakikita mo dito na 1,358,000, galing yan dito sa T-account ng inventories. Tama? Na nakuha natin kanina. Okay? Tama po ba? Dagdag sa inventories yung purchase. Pero at the same time, kung hindi yan binayaran, dagdag yan sa utang, accounts payable. Diba? Now, out of that, yung beginning tsaka purchase during the year, may binayaran dun eh. At ang binayaran lang daw, 1,348,000. Ito yung wala. At ito yung hinahanap natin doon kanina sa baba. So, kung paano siya nakuha, ganun ulit, squeeze method. So, meron ka ditong 170. Tama? nadagdagan ng purchase. Tama po ba? Pero since pabaliktad tayo, okay, yung purchase instead dagdag, bawas. Nadagdagan ng beginning balance, pabaliktad tayo, so bawas. Kaya meron ka ditong 1,348,000 as payment. Okay, under accounts payable. Okay? So, gawin lang natin positive balance to. Yan. At yung 1,348,000, yan nga yung payment sa supplier na nandito sa baba. Yan. Okay? I hope nasusundan yung class, no? Next, cash payment for operating expenses. Okay. So, di ba kung cash payment for operating expenses, tingin ka sa income statement, operating expenses. Nasa na yun? Operating expenses, ito, 620,800. Kaya lang, ang binayaran lang daw 455,800. Hindi ito. So malamang sa operating expenses, may kasama dyan ng mga non-cash expense. So dapat nabawas yun. Okay? Tingnan natin dun sa solution sa taas. Ito. From 620,800 na operating expense under income statement, binawasan siya ng depreciation na 180 kasi non-cash expense yan, tsaka doubtful accounts expense na 2,000. Okay? Saan ang galing yan, sir? Tingnan natin. Depreciation, ayan. So, ito, medyo talagang dapat nag-a-analyze ka na matindi dito, class, no? Kasi hindi naman siya makukuha mo lang ng isa yung i-consider mong item. Okay, connected kasi ito eh. So, maaring may gamitin ka pang isang item or dalawang item para makuha mo yung isang value doon sa hinahanap mo currently. Tama? So, itong 180, kung paano nakuha yan, eto yan. Okay? Pero medyo mahaba ba explanation natin. Unahin natin yung doubtful accounts. Pagkano? Binawas natin yung doubtful accounts na 2,000. So, saan nakuha yan? Dito yan. Okay. Ang allowance for doubtful accounts mo, dating 18, tapos naging 20. Tama ba? So, tumaas, no? So, malamang, yung pagtaas nun, ang cost nun, may na-recognize ka kasing doubtful accounts expense. So, ito yon. So, 18 ang beginning ng allowance for doubtful accounts, credit side. Ang ending niya, balance, 20,000. If you remember your 4-1, di ba? Write-off decreases allowance for doubtful accounts, increases allowance for doubtful accounts increases by doubtful accounts expense and at the same time recoveries. Pero klaro ng problem, di ba? Sabi doon, nasa na yun? Walang write-offs, wala ding recoveries. So, eto na yun. 0-0 yan. So, malamang ang naka-effect lang sa kanya kung bakit siya naging 20,000 from 18,000 is because of doubtful accounts expense na 2,000. Tama? So, yun yung binawas natin dito. Okay? Now, paano naman itong depreciation? Siyempre, depreciation connected yan sa PPE. Tama? So, titingin ka sa PPE niyan. Okay? Kaya lang baka mamaya, bago ka tumingin doon, mayroon namang additional information, direct to the point, sinabi. Katulad nito sa number 3. Operating expenses include total depreciation expense of 180,000. Okay, sinabi na pala eh. Ang total depreciation expense for the year, 180,000. So, 100,000 from building and 80,000 from machinery. Okay, so okay na pala, no? Even doubtful accounts expense, klinaro na 2,000, no? So, nag-compute pa tayo. Hindi, pero just in case hindi sinabi, so kaya natin computein. Di ba? Pero for total depreciation expense, hindi na natin po problemahin, no? Binigay naman na eh. 180,000. Okay? So, yun yung solution natin kung bakit may bawas tayong 180 dito, tsaka 2,000. Okay? So, meron kang, as of now, 438,800. Next. Ayan. So, meron ka dito, kung mapapansin mo, prepaid expense, tsaka accrued expense. Okay? May impact yan sa expense account. Diba? Now, saan galing yung mga amount na yan, sir? Given din yan. So, for example, prepaid expense, nasan yun? Ito, di ba? Ang beginning niya, 15. Ito yon. Tapos, ang ending niya, 22. Ayan yon. Tapos, accrued expense, yan, ito. Beginning niya, 28. Ito yon. Ending niya, 18. Ito yon. Okay? Now, bakit minus ito plus, plus, minus? Okay, paliwanag natin. Ang prepaid expense class, take note, nauna na ang bayad niyan. Tama ba? Kaya nga prepaid expense eh. Hindi mo pa expense pero binayaran mo na. Tama? Ang accrued expense, if you remember naman, expense mo na pero hindi mo pa nabayaran. Tama po ba? So, klaruhin natin. Pag prepaid expense beginning balance, which is December 31, 2023, based on the problem, okay, bakit sa tingin nyo binawas tong 15,000? Okay, bakit binawas siya? Okay, di ba kung 2023 ending balance yan, tama? So, nangyari pa yan ng 2023. So, ang prepaid expense na yan, na-purchase nung 2023. Eh, di ba pag prepaid expense, nabayaran agad? Tama ba? So, nung 2023, nabayaran na yan eh. Tama? Tapos, may portion lang na hindi pa nakukonsumo, kaya as of now, prepaid expense siya. Okay, yun yung natira. Tama ba? Pero ang point is, sir, 2023 pa lang, at the time na in-acquire yun, bayad na siya. Now, ang usapan natin dito, operating expenses na bayad during 2024 kasi yun yung current year na pinag-uusapan natin dito. Okay? So, kung yung prepaid expense, December 31, 2023, bayad na nung nakaraan, so ang implication niyan as to whether nabayaran ba yan this 2024, wala. Or hindi. Tama ba? Hindi yan nabayaran this year kasi last year nga nabayaran yan eh. Tama po ba? So in terms of dagdag ba yan as payment for operating expense this year? Hindi. That's why yung 15,000 sinabi nating bawas. Hindi yan payment. Nakuha po ba? Kasi ang objective natin sa baba, payment dapat ng operating expenses during the year. Ito hindi, dahil last year pa yan nabayaran. Okay, next. Itong prepaid expense, December 31, 2024, this year, na-acquire yan. Bayad na yan agad. Tama ba? Kahit hindi pa natin nakukonsumo. Nabayaran yan this year, 2024. Tama? Kung nabayaran yan this year, 2024, ibig sabihin, tamang isama yan as payment for the operating expense this year. Kasi ngayon niya nabayaran eh. Ngayong taon yan connected eh. Tama ba? Kaya add siya dito. Klaro? Okay, next. Yung accrued expense naman na beginning balance. 'Di ba utang yan? Yung accrued expense na yan na beginning balance. Okay? 28,000. Okay, inad. Bakit? Kasi 'di ba, last 2023, okay? 'Di ba pag accrued expense, nakonsumo mo na, hindi mo pa nabayaran. So last 2023, hindi nabayaran. Tama? So kung last 2023 hindi nabayaran, anong possibility pagdating sa 2024? Mabayaran siya. Tama ba? So, yung accrued expense, yung utang last year, 'di ba? Na hindi pa nabayaran, malamang mababayaran yan this year, 2024. Kaya add yan. Okay? Kasi ulitin ko, ang OPEX na pinapakita natin dito is yung bayad for 2024, for the current year. Next, yung accrued expense, 2024 balance na 18,000, walang payment na mangyayari this year. Kasi nga, utang yan this year, natirang utang this year. Okay? Or inakrung expense, okay, na konsumong expense na hindi pa nabayaran this year. Tama? So, ang possibility niya mabayaran siya next year. Tama ba? So, kung usapang this year, meron ba siyang impact sa payment ng OPEX? Wala. Kaya bawas yan. Okay? Kasi next year pa yan babayaran. So, next year pa dapat siya isama as payment, no? Cash outflow. Okay? Klaro po? So, I hope nasundan yon. So, minus 15 plus 22 plus 28 minus 18, you have OPEX or operating expenses paid for 155,800. So, ito yun, class. Yan. Okay, so medyo talagang pa-practicein mo to, class, no? Solve ka ng maraming problem dyan para mas ma-appreciate mo. Pero basically, yun yung mga formula na dapat mong tandaan when it comes to translating the accrual, di ba, to cash basis. Okay? Lalaruin mo yung formula na yon. Okay? Next, cash received from dividends. Operating activities yan. 60,000. Okay, saan mo nakuha yan, sir? Given. Nasaan yun? Dividend income. Ito. So, ang dividend income na receive niya ni company yan, no? Based on additional information, mukhang wala namang connected dividend income, income dito sa anim na items na to, no? Dividend income, wala. So, we assume, since wala rin namang may dividend receivable ba dito? Ayan, wala rin naman eh. Tama ba? Walang dividend receivable. So, wala tayong pwede makonect, no? So, ibig sabihin, itong dividend income, good as cash yan. Okay? The whole 60,000, yan din yung cash na na-receive. Okay? As pera. Okay? Kaya meron ka ditong cash received from dividends, 60,000. Okay? Next, interest income. Okay? Sa additional information, I think wala nabanggit about interest income, no? Even doon sa taas, wala namang interest receivable kasi yun lang naman pwedeng maka-affect sa interest income. Wala no? Walang interest receivable. So another scenario, 'di ba, na etong interest income na to, ito din yung equivalent cash na na-receive. So kaya meron ka ditong cash received from interest 20,000. Okay? Next, cash payment interest. 'Di ba? Cash payment for interest. Operating din 'yan. Cash payment for income tax, operating din 'yan, pero bawas. Now, may connected information ba 'yan or balances na pwede maka-apekto sa items na to? Itong dalawang to, meron. So anyway, ang interest expense per income statement, 120,000. Okay? Wala siyang additional information class, pero ang pwede maka-apekto dito sa interest expense ay itong interest payable. Meron yan eh. Ayun. Ayan. Tama ba? So dyan, malalaman mo na merong interest payment na mangyayari other than doon sa amount na pinakita as interest expense sa income statement. Okay? So magkano yon? Di ba ang beginning balance mo, 108,000? Interest payable? Ito yon. Okay? And then ang ending balance mo, 90,000? Ito yon. Okay? Di ba ang interest payable, pinapataas ng interest expense recognized for the year? Di ba 120,000 ang interest expense? Okay, so 108, 120, tapos may ending balance ka na 90. So bakit naging 90 yan? Malamang may binayaran. Okay? So ito yon. So 90,000, di ba ang interest expense dagdag to get the ending balance of interest payable? So pabaliktad tayo squeeze method tayo Okay? So instead dagdag minus yung 120. Even the beginning balance, no, na interest payable, that increases the interest payable ending balance. Since pabaliktad tayo, bawas din yan. Okay? Yan. So meron ka ditong 138,000 as payment for interest, which is yun yung nilagay natin dun sa baba. Yan. Okay? Tama? Next, income tax na nabayaran. Okay, sabi dito, 70,300, bawas. Okay, paano nakuha yan? Meron din tayong connected information, income tax payable. So, for income tax expense. Meron kang beginning 10. Okay, meron kang ending as given 120. Di ba may income tax expense ka, which increases your income tax payable na 180,300. Given din yan, nandun sa income statement. Ito. Okay? So, ito ang hinanap kasi natin, yung payment Okay? So, ano lang din yan? Squeeze method. From 120, kaya naging 120,000 yung ending balance ng income tax payable kasi nga nadagdagan, okay, ng income tax expense during the year. Okay? Tapos also, the beginning balance of that income tax payable. So, squeeze method tayo, no? Pabaliktad to. From 120, ito dagdag kasi, pero pabaliktad, bawas. Ito dagdag din, pero pabaliktad tayo, bawas din. So, meron ka ditong payment na nangyari during the year for income tax, 70,300. So, palitan lang din natin para mag-positive, no? Ayan. Kaya meron ka ditong Ayan, bawas na 70,300. Tama? Okay, so ito, direct method to class ha. So, tandaan, 847,900. Okay? Now, dapat sa indirect method, yung balance doon, okay, yung bottom line, 847,900 din. Okay? Iba nga lang yung approach ng pagkuha. Okay? Pag indirect method, sa magmumula sa net income. Okay? After tax, of course. Okay? Lagyan natin dito, net income after tax. Okay? So, saan mo nakuha yan, sir? 540,900 given. Saan yun? Ito. Tama po ba? Next, add yung mga non-cash expense less yung mga non-cash income. So, per problem, may non-cash expense tayo na depreciation. Magkano yun? 180,000. Di ka na pinahirapan, no? Kasi binigay na dito sa additional information. Ito. Okay? Next, budget expense, 2,000. Given na rin. Okay? Next, may loss on sale of machinery. Next, may loss din from sale of building. Okay? At may dinagdag din na unrealized loss on investment in bonds. So, saan nakuha itong mga to? Okay, so medyo tignan mo yung other information din. So, okay na tayo sa 1, 2, 3. So, dito na tayo sa 4. Kaya lang itong 4 ay land yata, no? So, wag mo na yan. Yung 5, cash dividends, wag mo na yan. Yung 6, in the current year, the land was sold for 2.7 million. The building was sold for 400,000 and the machinery was sold for 70,000. So, ito yung information kung paano natin makukuha yung loss on sale of machinery and loss on sale of building na nandito. Okay? Klaro? So, kung paano naging loss yan, eto yon. Nasaan yun? Yan. Sa building muna. Okay. Sa building, ang balance kasi niya, nasaan yun? Yan, 2,500,000 beginning. Ito yon. Tama? Tapos, ang ending niya, 2 million. Ito yon. Tama ba? Now, ang alam mo lang, saan yun? Yan. Ang alam mo, ang building, as additional information, nabenta for 400,000. Yun yung proceeds ng pagkabenta sa building. Tama po ba? Now, ang tanong dyan, magkano mismo yung cost ng building na naibenta mo? Yan. So, kung mapapansin mo, class, meron ka ditong entry, no? Okay. So, debit cash, ito kasi yung proceeds ng pagbenta mo sa building. Tapos, debit accumulated depreciation, 25,000. Loss on sale of building, 75,000. Then, building credit, 500,000. Okay? Now, magtataka ka siguro, paano nangyaring may accumulated depreciation, sir? Tsaka may loss on sale of building. Saan mo nakuha yan? Dito. Tapos itong 500,000, galing dito. Paano nangyari yun, sir? O, di ba, pansinin mo, nung beginning, may 2.5. Tama? May 2,500,000. Okay? Tapos, naging 2 million. Okay? Wala rin namang additional information doon sa problem na mag-indicate sa'yo na merong possible na purchase for the building during the year. So, from 2.5, naging 2 million, malamang ang benta, ang nangyaring bentahan, okay, 500,000 talaga. Tama? Yung cost ng building na nabenta, 500,000. Kaya meron ka ditong 500,000 na bawas. So, ito, given, dun sa kanina, nabenta ng 400,000 yung building. Ito, 500,000 coming from this. 2.5 na beginning, naging 2 million yung ending. So, malamang, may nabenta ng 500,000 na cost ng building. Tapos, wala tayong purchase in cash kasi nga walang other information dito na magti-trigger sa'yo na merong binili for the building during the year. Okay? Next. So, ito na lang problema mo, yung accumulated depreciation tsaka yung loss on sale of building. So, dito tayo. Accumulated depreciation building. Sa accumulated depreciation building, meron kang beginning balance na ito, 125. Ayan, yun. Ending balance na 200 for building. Ito yun. Tama? And based on the problem, di ba, as given din, during the year, may depreciation na 100, ito yun, no? From building. So, ito yun, di ba? Pinapataas ng depreciation yung accumulated depreciation balance. Yan. Klaro? Okay. Di ba may nabentang building for 400,000? So, malamang, kung nabenta yung building na yun, may na-recognize na cost, at the same time, may na-recognize na accumulated depreciation related dun sa cost, which is obviously 25,000. Okay, paano nakuha yan, sir? Squeeze method. Meron kang ending balance na accumulated depreciation. Tama, 200,000. Pinataas yan ng depreciation kung normal approach na 100,000. Pero since pabaliktad tayo, minus. Okay, ito yun. Yung J42 na cell. Okay? And at the same time, yung beginning balance kasi, pinapataas yung accumulated depreciation ending balance. So, minus din, J41. Kaya mo nakuha yung 25,000. Okay? Pag normal approach yan, 125 na beginning plus depreciation, di ba? 225. Tapos, ibawas mo yung accumulated depreciation kasi nabenta yan eh. So, meron kang balance ending na 200,000. So, tama. Okay? Tama tayo dito. So, ang depreciation na nawala or accumulated depreciation na nawala kasi may portion ng building na nabenta is 25,000. Kaya mo nakuha yung entries mo dito na debit accumulated depreciation, 25,000. To make the entries balance, meron kang 75,000 sa debit na nag-indicate na loss yung nangyari. Okay, tama po ba? Loss ang nangyari. Bakit? Di ba 400,000 yung pagkabenta mo? Ang cost mo ng building 500,000. Bawasan mo na accumulated depreciation for 75,000. Yun yung carrying amount. Nabenta mo lang ng 400. So tama, lugi ka ng 75,000. Okay? Kaya meron ka ditong loss on sale of building na dinagdag natin pabalik 75,000. Now, kung ayaw mo naman medyo mahirapan dun sa analyzation natin kanina, okay, tingin-tingin ka rin kasi baka mamaya sa income statement, binigay naman talaga direct to the point yung loss on sale of building. Which is, eto nga. Okay? Ako ba, binigay naman pala. Pero, other way, no, of getting that, okay, kung sakali hindi obviously pinakita sa income statement, is yung kaninang approach natin, yung nandito. Tama? Yan, yung nandito. So, yan. Next, sa loss on sale of machinery, yan, meron ka ditong 10,000 din as given, no, doon sa P&L. So, add back mo lang din. Okay, yung loss on sale of machinery, 10,000. Kung gusto mo malaman yung detalye niyan, ito yon. Saan yun? Yan, machinery. Tama ba? Based on the given, nabenta daw ang machinery ng 70,000. Kaya dito sa entry na yan, meron kang debit cash 70,000. Okay? Next. Di ba, per problem may loss on sale ka na 10,000. So, debit yon. Tama? Klaro ba? Okay. Next. Meron ka daw dito accumulated depreciation, kaakibat nung binenta mong machinery, 20,000. Okay, paano muna nakuha yan? Okay, yung accumulated depreciation na debit, 20,000. Dito tayo sa accumulated depreciation machinery. Okay? So, dito sa given, meron kang accumulated depreciation for machinery, beginning, 40,000. Ito. Diba? Machinery. Yan, 40,000. Kaya meron ka dito. And ending balance, 100,000. Ito yon. Okay? Kaya meron ka dito. Okay? Tapos, di ba, if you remember, klinaro ng problem, ang depreciation expense mo for machinery, ito yun, no? Yan, 80. Tama? Kaya meron ka ditong 80. Given yan. So, ang point ni sir, may 40 ka dyan, dinagdagan ng 80, tapos biglang naging 100. So, paano nangyari yun? Di ba? Kasi kung 40 plus 80, 120 yun. Tapos, ba't biglang naging 100? So, malamang, may accumulated depreciation na na-recognize. Okay? Kasi nga, may nabentang machinery. Okay? So, paano nakuha tong 20,000? Ayun, from 100,000, di ba? Minus yung 80,000 kasi normally, dagdag yan eh. Squeeze method to eh. So, pabaliktad tayo. Dagdag yan, minus. Ito ding beginning, dagdag, pero squeeze method, minus. So, you have 20,000 here. So, to check lang din, 40 plus 80, 120. Bawasan mo ng 20. Tama, 100. Okay? So, ulit. Dito sa entry mo, given yung 70,000, ito yon. Tama, proceeds from sale ng machinery. Accumulated depreciation na nabawas, kasi nga, may nabentang machinery, which is 20,000. Dito galing yan. Okay? Tapos, per problem, may loss on sale of machinery ka, so nakadebit yon, 10,000 given. So, ang total debit mo ngayon, 100,000. Okay? So, malamang ang credit mo, since may bentang machinery, is yung cost ng machinery yung nabenta. Okay? Which is 100,000 din para equal yung entries mo, debit and credit. Nakuha po? Yan. Now, from that, eto na. So, machinery ka ngayon. Saan yung machinery? Yan. May beginning balance ka na 200,000. Ito yon. Ending balance na 700,000. Ito yon. Okay? So, itong kinukuha natin na yung purchase in cash. Okay? Alam nating may nabenta na cost ng machinery, 100,000. Tama? So, squeeze method tayo. Okay? Ito yon. So, from ending balance, 700,000, then may nabenta during the year ng ang cost ng machinery na yon 100,000. So, bawas yon. Eh, di ba, pabaliktad tayo? So, yung bawas na yan na 100,000, dagdag. Okay, ito yon. F53. Tama? Kasi nga, bawas yan normally. So, dagdag pag pabaliktad. And then, yung beginning balance na 200,000, normally, to get the 700,000 balance, ending, dinagdag yan. Eh, pabaliktad tayo, kaya minus. Okay? Under E52. Tama? Kaya mo nakuha yung purchase in cash, 600,000. Okay? Tama ba? So, malamang merong purchase of machinery during the year, in cash, 600,000. So, 200,000 plus 600,000, binawasan ng 100,000 na cost na nabenta, tama, meron kang 700,000. Okay? Tapos, ito yung entry mo for the purchase of machinery, 600,000 during the year. Okay? Next, dun tayo sa... So, itong unrealized loss on investment in bonds at fair value through profit or loss, 5,000, no? In-add back din siya kasi wala namang cash involved dyan. Galing yan sa given ulit. Ito yon. Tama po ba? Yan. Binawas kasi siya eh, pero wala namang cash na involved. Diba? Eh, objective natin dito dapat purely cash. Yung sa baba. Okay? So, i-add back natin. Dapat di yan nabawas. Wala namang perang involved yan eh. Now, note mo lang, if the unrealized gain or loss is included here, sabi dito, kung dito mo na siya in-appear, there's no need to adjust for the increase in investment in bonds, FBPL, under current asset and liabilities. Di ba kasi pag investment in bonds, tapos measure that fair value through profit or loss, ano yun eh? Current asset yun eh. Tama po ba? Di ba after nito mga non-cash expense tsaka non-cash income, na ma-add back mo tsaka ma-deduct mo respectively. Ang susunod na i-take effect mo yung mga changes ng current asset tsaka current liabilities. Eh di ba ang investment in bonds measured at fair value through profit or loss? Okay? Pwede mo ma-consider as current asset yon. Okay? So, ang pino-point out niya, pwede yung nandito. Okay? Pero since nilagay na natin dito as adjustment, okay, doon sa mga non-cash items, okay, hindi mo na kailangan ipakita ulit yan dito. Okay? Yun lang ibig niya sabihin. Okay? So, anyway, yung 5,000 na yan, unrealized loss yan, no? Pero para ma-appreciate mo kung saan galing tong 5,000, okay, bukod sa given dito sa income statement, eto yan. Saan yan? Yan. Investment in bonds, measured at fair value through profit or loss. From 180, naging 175. So, tama, bumaba. 'Di ba? By how much? 5,000. Okay? Unrealized nga lang kasi nga hindi pa naman binibenta eh. Okay, hindi pa siya na-realize. So, unrealized loss. Tama? Kaya meron ka ditong 5,000. Okay? Klaro yun? Next, less gain on sale of land, 100,000. Okay? Since gain yan on sale of land, di ba? So, bawas yan. Okay? Ibabawas natin yung mga income na wala namang cash involvement. Okay? Kasi we need to get the net income na purely cash ang involved. Okay? Non-cash income to eh. Dati siya nadagdag. Okay? Ibawas natin para makuha natin sa bottom line purely net income about cash. Okay? Now, paano nakuha tong gain on sale of land? Bukod sa given ba yan? Ayun, given naman eh. Okay? Given naman pala, so wala masyadong problema. Okay? Next, ito na, yung mga increase and decrease ng mga current assets and current liabilities. So, magmula sa AR, yan, from 180 to 200 tumaas. Pero ang implication niya, okay, yan, bawas. Tapos sa inventory, from 170 naging 100, so decrease. Ang implication niya, dagdag. Okay, baliktad kasi pag current asset, invert. Okay, asset at invert. Ha, para magkatunog, di ba? Increase in prepaid expense, 15,000 tas naging 22, so tama. Increase by 7,000. Current asset to. So baliktad, kaya minus. Okay? Wala nang current asset, no? Ito, current asset to eh. Kaya lang, yun nga yung sinasabi natin kanina. Kung na-consider na natin yung unrealized loss or gain yan doon sa mga non-cash items, wag mo na isama ulit dito. Tama? Sa baba. Kasi ang investment naman normally tumataas bumababa lang yan sa changes in the market price. Okay? Or yung fair market value nga. Unless otherwise may additional investment during the year or mayroong selling of investment during the year. So dapat klinaro ng problem yun. Sa problem kasi wala namang sinabing may binentang investment or may nabili ulit na investment during the year. So we assume na yung changes pertaining lang dun sa mismong market value niya. Okay? So anyway, next. So wala nang current asset, no? Current liabilities na tayo. Sa current liabilities, ayan, from accounts payable, no? 160 naging 170, tumaas. Di ba pag current liabilities as is. So kung tumaas yan, plus. Yan. Next, interest payable. Okay, from 108 naging 90. So bumaba. By how much? 18,000. So as is, kaya bawas 18,000. Income tax payable, current liability yan. From 10,000, naging 120. Tumaas. So, ang implication niyan, tataas din by 110,000. Kasi as is nga eh. Okay? Current liabilities, as is. Other accrued expense, tama. Current liability din yan. Okay? 28,000, then naging 18. So, decrease by 10,000. Nakuha po ba? So, meron ka ditong minus 10,000 as is. Yung current portion of notes payable, wala naman nagbago eh. So, hindi mo na kailangan pakitain dito. Okay, so pag pinag-plus mo lahat, 847,900 net inflow or net cash provided, which is parehas lang din sa direct method. Okay, 847,900. So, kapag pumarehas yan, magdiwang ka. Okay, tama yung mga pinagagawa mo. Okay? So, last portion na tayo, investing activities tsaka financing activities. Okay? So, dito sa problem na to, tanda mo, pag investing activities were pertaining only to long-term assets, PPEs, di ba, intangible asset, pati yung mga investment other than trading securities. Okay? Yun lang naman yun eh. So, ito yon. So, ayan. Meron tayong proceeds from sale of PPE. Okay, meron kang nakuhang pera sa pagbenta ng mga PPE. Ano ba yung mga PPE per problem? Land, building, tsaka machinery. 'Di ba binanggit yata kung magkano sila nabenta? Ayun, number 6. In the current year, the land was sold for 2.7, building for 400, and machinery for 70. So, ito lahat yon, di ba? So, 2.7, tama ba? 123 plus 400,000, 123 plus 70. Ayun, tama nga. 3,170,000. That yan proceeds from sale of PPE. Okay? Next. Okay, paano naman nakuha tong acquisition of PPE? 5,100,000. Okay, so medyo aalamin mo yan with the other information, no? Based dun kanina sa sinabi natin, tama po ba? Sa building, wala tayong purchase during the year. Wala. Tama po ba? Pero sa machinery, meron. Ito yon, 600,000. Napaliwanag na natin to kanina kung paano nagkaroon ng ganyan. Okay, so one of the acquisition yan ng PPE during the year. So kasama yan malamang doon sa baba. Ano pa? Okay, PPE din yung land, di ba? So meron tayong nangyaring purchase of land in cash during the year. Purchase of land in cash during the year. So paano nakuha yan? Sa given, ang land natin may 1 million. Okay, beginning balance, 1 million. Ito yon. Ang ending balance niya, 3.2 million. Ito yon. Okay? Tama? So, ano yung nangyari during the year related sa land? Okay? So, anyway, if you remember, sa land, di ba ang proceeds, 2.7? Ito yon, given. So, yan, 2.7. Tapos, per income statement, meron daw na gain on sale of land, which is 100,000. So, wala ka naman kailangang intindihin ditong accumulated depreciation kasi land to eh. Okay, so ang point is, sir, kung ang pagkabenta sa land ay 2.7 at ang gain on the sale of land is 100,000, so yung cost ng land na nabenta is 2.6. Ito yun. Tama? So, debit 2.7 na cash, pagkabenta sa land, may gain on sale, di ba? 100,000, so credit yon. So, malamang ang cost ng land na nabenta, 2.6 to make the entry balance. Di ba? 2.7 kasi itong dalawa eh. Tapos debit mo, 2.7 din. Okay, so tama. Since may gain on sale of land, 100,000, malamang ang cost ng land na nabenta, 2.6 para mag-match dun sa proceeds na 2.7. Okay, kaya meron ka ditong credit side na cost ng land, okay, 2.6. Ibig sabihin, yan yung cost na nabenta for the land. Okay? Now, merong purchase during the year sa land. Okay? Dalawa. May true shares at in cash. Okay, so take note hindi palaging titignan mo ay purchase to in cash agad. Huwag mo i-assume agad 'yon. Kasi depende sa problem 'yan eh. Now, paano natin nasabing may purchase true shares 300,000 for land on this? Di ba? Ito 'yon, sinabi ng problem. Ayan, number 4. During the year, the company issued 100,000 shares in exchange for land with the fair value of 300,000. Okay? Ano po ba? So, may nadagdag na land na ang fair value nun 300,000. So, ito nga yun, 300,000. Okay? Tama? As addition sa land. Ang entry niyan class ganito eh. Debit land, fair value no, 300,000. Dito na lang. Debit land, 300,000, tama? At fair value natin sinusukat kasi. And then after nun, 'di ba inisyuan ng shares kapalit ng land? Magkano daw inisyu na shares? 100,000. Okay? So, ang entry natin diyan credit share capital. Ilan yung shares na inisyu? 100,000 shares. Tama? Now, by the way, ang share capital natin, nakikredit lang natin yan in the amount of the par value of the shares. So, kung 100,000 shares ang na-issue, okay, i-times natin yan sa par value ng shares. At eto yon. Ang par value niya 2 pesos. Tama? So, times ka dyan ng 2. Okay? 2 pesos at par. Tama ba? So, ang share capital mo lang is 100, 1, 2, 3 times 2. Ang natitira, di ba, may 100,000 na balance. Tawag natin dyan, share premium. Tama? Yan ang entry mo dyan. Yan. Pero ang point is, sir, tama po ba? Walang cash na involved, pero tumaas yung land. So, ingat ka lang doon. Okay, noted mo yon. Pero take note, sa statement of cash flow, tama, under investing, wala ka nilabas na pera for that amount. Okay? So, alam na natin may nadagdag na 300,000 pero walang cash na involved. Okay? So, paano natin malalaman yung purchase ng land in cash? So, squeeze method ulit. So, meron tayong 3,2 na ending balance. Tama? May nangyaring pagbenta ng land. Ang cost niya, 2.6. So, ito yon F28. Pero since pabaliktad tayo, instead na bawas yan, okay, kasi benta nga eh, dagdag. Okay, pabaliktad tayo eh. Okay? Ang kinukuha natin yung purchase in cash, yung nasa gitna. Next, yung beginning balance ng 1 million, tama, E27, ito yon bawas. Yung purchase through shares ng land during the year, di ba nadagdag yan to get the ending balance? Pabaliktad tayo, bawas. So, in effect, purchase in cash mo, 4.5 during the year. Okay? If you want to check whether balance yan, 1 million, di ba? Beginning plus 300,000 in exchange of shares and plus 4.5 million, okay, paid as cash, minus 2.6, lalabas 3.2 pa rin. So, ibig sabihin tama yung ginawa natin dyan. Nakuha po ba? Pero ito yung importante sa atin, yung 4.5. Okay? Yan kasi yung acquisition natin ng land in cash. So, yung 4.5 na purchase in cash ng land, tsaka yung purchase ng machinery in cash na 600,000, pag pinag-plus mo yung dalawa na yan, 4.5 plus 600, 5.1. Tama? Kaya meron ka ditong acquisition of PPE sa investing. Nasa na yun? Ayan, 5.1. Outflow. Okay? So, may net cash use ka kasi negative dito eh, di ba? Negative 1,930. Tama? So, 1,930,000 negative net cash outflow yan, or kung tawagin din, net cash use. Okay? So, yan yun. Next, sa financing, okay, syempre, hindi pa tayo tapos. Sa financing, eto na. Sa financing naman, syempre, lahat ng borrowings, no, short term man yan or long term, basta borrowings. Pati yung mga capital account. Okay? Pati dividends, pati treasury shares, mga financing activities yan eh. Okay? So, unang line item na nakikita mo dito, proceeds from long-term borrowings, 1.2. Saan galing yan? Ito yun, class. Saan ba yung long-term borrowings? Ito. From 2023, wala. Biglang naging 1.2. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Kasi malamang, kaya ka may utang na 1.2 kasi nga may na-receive kang pera. Okay? Which is inflow. Connected sa financing activities. Kaya meron ka ditong 1.2 na inflow. Tama? Next. Okay, sa non-current portion ng notes payable, if you will notice dating 1.2, di ba? 2023, biglang naging 900. So, bakit nabawasan from 1.2 tapos naging 900? Ay malamang may payment na nangyari doon sa utang na yan. Okay, sa borrowing na yan. Okay? That's why, yung payment of notes payable dito, bawas under financing. Tama ba? Okay, next. Proceeds from issuance of shares. Ito na, proceeds from issuance of shares. Punta tayo sa T-account ng mga share capital tsaka share premium. Ayan. Sa share capital mo, kung mapapansin mo, beginning 800,000, ito yon. Tapos, ang ending niya, 1.6, ito yon. So, malamang 800,000 naging 1.6. So, during the year, may nadagdag na 800,000. Okay? Now, ang tanong, lahat ba yun na nadagdag as issuance is through cash? Hindi. So, pansinin mo dito, 600,000 lang yung issuance in cash. Yung 200,000 issuance for land. Naalala mo yung kanina na na-purchase yung land through issuance of shares? Okay, ito yun eh, 200,000. Nasaan yung entry natin? Ito, tama ba? Yan. So, nadagdagan yung share capital by 200,000 because nag-issue nga ng shares kapalit ng land. 100,000 shares times 2, yung par value. Ito yung given. Tama? 100,000 shares in exchange for land, pero ang ito times mo doon sa par value ng share capital, which is galing dito. Ito, 2. Okay? Kaya meron ka dyan 200,000. Kaya meron ka ditong 200,000 din sa T-account niya. Okay? Eh di ba sabi natin ang increase 800,000 during the year? Para yung 800,000 na beginning naging 1.6. So, kung 200,000 yung identified, issuance for land, malamang yung 600,000 na kulang pa is issuance din ng shares pertaining as cash payment. Tama? Or cash receipt kapalit ng initial na shares. Nakuha po ba? Yan. Kaya meron ka dyan 600,000. To make the mathematical computation accurate. Okay? Kaya mo nakuha yan. Squeeze method pa rin yan, syempre. Okay? 1.6 minus 200 minus 800. Kaya mo nakuha yung 600. Sa share premium naman, meron kang 400 dyan. Ito yon. Tama po ba? Share premium. 400. Tapos, may ending balance ka na 800. So, ito yon. 400 plus 800. So, during the year, meron na dagdag na 400,000. Okay. Ang tanong dyan, saan nagmula yan? Yung issuance for land na 100,000, galing yan dito, no? Yan, itong entry na to, yung difference ng 200,000 from the land na fair value, 300,000, so 100,000. Kaya meron ka ditong 100,000. So malamang, yung natitira na 300,000, okay, kasi 400,000 yung increase eh, during the year. Yan ay na-issue through cash. Okay, na-issue yan through cash. Okay? So, in the issuance of shares in cash, meron kang 600 plus 300, 900. Kaya meron ka dito nakikitang yan, proceeds from issuance of shares, 900,000. Okay? Next, unahin ko na itong cash payment for treasury shares, 125,000. Bawas yan, ha? Outflow yan under financing activities. Ito yan, given. Ito, yan. Dating wala, tapos biglang nagkaroon, di ba ang treasury shares, negative naman talagang impact yan sa equity. Okay, pero ang point is, ito ang entry mo dyan eh. Treasury shares, pa nag-entry ka, treasury shares, tama, credit cash. Pag binili mo pabalik. Sariling shares to ng company. Okay? Tapos binili niya pabalik. Yan, 125. Ganyan ang entry niyan eh. Okay? So, tama. Outflow ng cash, 125, bawas yon. Okay? Tama? Tapos debit yung treasury shares account. Pero ang impact sa equity, negative. Okay, deduct. So, doon sa, yan, financing activities, bawas ha. Yan, ito yon. Next, yung cash paid for dividends, paano naman nakuha yan? Okay, punta tayo sa retained earnings account, T-account, ito yon. Ang retained earnings natin, 1.7, beginning balance, ito po yon. At ang ending niya, 1.9, ito po yon. Okay? Now, ano ba ang nagpapataas sa retained earnings? Net income after tax. Or simply the net income, di ba? Which is 540,900. At given yon, ito yon. Okay? Yan ang nagpapataas sa retained earnings. Ang nagpapababa sa retained earnings, dividends payment. Okay? Na malamang nakuha natin through squeeze method. Tama? Okay? Di ba nadagdagan ng net income after tax, kaya naging 1,900,000? Pabaliktad tayo eh. Okay, squeeze method. Instead of plus yan, minus. Yung beginning, malamang dagdag yan. Pero pabaliktad tayo, minus. Okay, so meron kang dividends payment na nangyari during the year, 340,900. Okay, pag gusto mong i-double check lang, pag plus mo itong dalawa, i-minus mo itong 340,900, makukuha mo pa rin 1.9. Tama? So, okay yan. Pero ang point, ang kinuha lang naman natin doon, yung dividends payment during the year. So, ito yun. Saan na yun? 340,900 yan. Kaya meron ka ditong bawas na 340,900. Okay? Tsaka, klinaro naman ang problem eh. Yan, sabi dito sa number 5, merong cash dividends na na-declare at the same time na bayaran. Okay? Ibang usapan, class, pag sinabi lang niyang cash dividends were declared. Declared lang. Ang entry mo dyan, debit retained earnings, credit, cash dividends, payable. Tama? Magkano yun kanina? 340,900. 340,900. O, yan yung entry mo dyan. Kung declared lang ha. Okay, pag binayaran, ang entry mo dyan, dugtungan mo, cash, dividends, payable. Then credit, cash. Tama? With the same amount. Okay? Per original information, declared at the same time payment. So, tama lang talagang ibawas natin under financing activities. Kasi financing activities naman ang dividends payment. So, ang point lang naman ni sir, kung sakaling cash dividends were declared lang, wag mong ibabawas doon sa financing activities yung dividends. Okay? Kasi wala namang nangyaring payment eh. Wala nangyaring ganitong entry. Kung declared lang, ito lang entry. Ang cash dividends payable, wala namang cash na involved dyan eh. Utang pa yan eh. Tama? So, dapat yung 340,900, kung sakaling declared lang, hindi sinabing bayad yung cash dividends, wala kang ilalagay dito na bawas. Pero since sinabi ng problem and paid, di ba? Kaya may bawas ka dito. Okay? So, ang net cash provided by financing activities is 1,334,100. Add the net cash of each activity. So, meron kang 847,900 under operating, negative 1930, tama, under investing, and then 133,400 under financing. So, pag pinag-plus mo yan, minus mo yan, meron kang net increase in cash, 252,000. Okay, 252,000 plus yung beginning cash balance na 344, ito yon. Yan, ito yung beginning balance mo. So, net increase na 252,000 plus beginning 344. Ang ending ng cash mo, 596,000. 596,000. Which is eto. So, tama tayo. Tama ba? Balanse. Okay? So, I hope nasundan nyo, no? Kahit medyo mahaba-habang discussion at medyo comprehensive. Okay?